Hello guys, welcome to this webinar. So in this webinar we are going to understand Active Directory NTDS.dat file partitions. So one of the most important topic in Active Directory, especially for Windows Server administrators, they have so many interview questions from this session, so it will be very useful for you all. So please keep continue this video till end. You will get so many important things and there's so many topics which is hidden inside the Active Directory. So you will come to know all this. Let us start without wasting time. If you want to ask anything, you can post a comment below so that I can respond by your answer. So whatever query you have, so you can get it. So let us start without. So first of all, we know before entering into this topic, we have to know 4 things. Remember, first we have to know what is Active Directory. We have to know Active Directory. Second thing is we have to know what is NTDS. Third is domain, and the fourth is domain controller. Imagine if you don't know these words, so you cannot understand this session. So this is very important to know what is Active Directory, what is NTDS, what is domain, what is domain controller. So however, it's my responsibility to tell what is Active Directory and NTDS and everything here. So let us understand what is Active Directory. In short form, AD. Now it become ADDS. ADDS. What is Active Directory? It is a service. Which one? Active Directory is a service. One line answer or one word answer. It is a service. Whose based service? Windows Server based service. Windows Server based service. Windows Server based service. What we can do with this service? We can manage or we can say centralized database. It provides centralized database. What is the name of this database? The database called NTDS. NTDS is a database. What information will be present in the database? What information? That database stores username, passwords, groups, and many more information. Today we will discuss what type of information will be there in the NTDS. But why NTDS creates centralized database? Why do we go for centralized database? Centralized database only reason for easy administration. What is easy administration? If you don't know what is easy administration and how administrators will manage computers, we have some videos in the same channel. So you please go watch our previous videos to understand why this session, what is easy administration, what is Active Directory, and how Active Directory is easier for administrator to manage anything in the organization. If you are watching this is a first session, you can't understand anything here. So I'm requesting you to go watch. There is a class 1 video. From the class 1, continue all that videos so that you will understand this particularly, or if you have any knowledge or if you have any experience to work with Active Directory, then you can continue here. That's the thing. And next, so you understood what is Active Directory is a service. It is a Windows based service. It provides centralized database. The database is NTDS. That NTDS contains so many information like this. Why do we go for NTDS database? To manage centralized administration, that is called easy administration. This is one thing called Active Directory in simply way. Next, here the question is, what is NTDS? NTDS, I told you, right? You have to know 4 words before entering into this partition. NTDS. What is NTDS? In full form, NTDS is a new technology directory services. New technology directory services. That's a full form. It is actually, it's a database. NTDS, it's a database. What database? It's an Active Directory database. ADDS database. So when you install Active Directory, that AD creates a database. The database called NTDS. What information will be present in the database? Just before we discussed username, passwords, and here this database will be present in a common folder called C in Windows NTDS. That's a folder. Inside that NTDS folder, there is a file called NTDS NTDS.dit. This is a file. This contains everything of Active Directory. This is what we are going to discuss about Active Directory. If you want to see where that file is present, I have a computer here. I can go to tab, I can go to C1. This C1 is the computer. If I go to computer, it is locked. I have installed one domain called Ekascloud.com. In that domain, I have some users, nothing. One user, that is default administrator. We have domain controller server 1, and we don't have anything like any computer. What I wanted to show you here is, I just wanted to go to this browser, sorry, file explorer. In that we go to C partition. In that C partition, you see one Windows folder. In that you find NTDS folder. In NTDS folder, this is a file which we are talking about, ntds.dit. What is the size of the file? It's about 20 MB. So this is one of the interview question. What is the size of the NTDS database folder? So in 2012 R2, it is 20 MB. Mostly in 3, 8 and 12 differ. In later on, it may be same in 2012 R2, 2019, 2016. But what we have to discuss here mainly, if I go back to that notepad, here this is the database file. When this database file gets created, when you install and configure Active Directory, when you promote a domain controller, when you create a domain, when you promote a domain controller, automatically this database gets created in the local folder. You understand? Now this is manual database, it is not automatically, but here you may get one question, what is DIT full form? DIT, directory information, directory information tree. So it says indirectly a collection of information structured into tree, which means there is a tree structure inside the database. What is a tree structure? We will understand everything in detail slowly, one by one. Before entering into the detailed subject, at least you have to know what is this, where it is, how it's created, what is the file format, everything we must know that. So we got 2 points clear. What is Active Directory? It is a service. What is NTDS? It's a database. One word answer, database. One word answer, service. One line answer we have here. One line answer we have here. It's a database. What is next to understand? Domain. What is domain? Domain is a collection. Domain. Domain, it is a collection. It is a collection. What collection? A collection of a domain is a collection of users, groups, computers, and other network resources. Other network resource, folders, printers, file servers, shared, anything. Other network resource. Uses common database. Uses common database. That organization called domain. Which domain? Let's take an imagine there is a company. Imagine you have a company. In company there are so many employees are there, and there so much infrastructure will be there. What is the meaning of infra? Furniture, computers, everything, electricity, light, fan, AC, everything will comes under in infrastructure, and the employees will come, and everything, the building, all will become known as what? It's a common. See, if you give this building, this is Ekascloud.com. It's a Ekascloud company. Employees belongs to Ekascloud. Infrastructure belongs to Ekascloud. Employees can use infrastructure. Employees can use computers. Employees can come in building and use. This is called organization. This is called company. Which, what I'm trying to say, a single employee is not a domain. A single employee is not a company. Or a single computer is not a company. No. So all infra, everything, employees will come inside the building, including that building called company. That's a company. Similarly, this is just an example. Similarly, domain is a collection. So many users, groups, computers, and other resources in the network uses common database. That organization, this organization called domain. So usually domain is a collection. It is always a collection of something. That's called domain. So how the domain will be controlled? How domain will control? Domain controlled by domain controller. What is domain controller here? So domain controller, next understanding word is domain controller. Domain controller, it's a computer. Which one? Domain controller is what? It's a computer. You can say it is a server. You can say it is server, or it is a computer. That computer or this computer, this server, which can control the domain, which can control the domain. Domain controller is a computer which can control the domain. Or we can say one thing, another way of explaining domain controller. Domain controller, a computer running with Active Directory. A computer running with ADDS, where the computer or where the Active Directory is running, that computer, it is known as what? Domain controller. Domain controller is a computer running with Active Directory. Or we can say one thing, one more definition. Domain controller is a computer which contain writable copy of NTDS database. Domain controller which contain a writable copy. What is writable copy? What is this? NTDS. NTDS is a file. That file where that file is containing, that computer act as a domain controller. A computer running with AD that acts as a domain controller. A computer which controls the domain, that is domain controller. It is your choice to say what is domain controller. It is completely your choice. You can say anything. So these 4 words which helps you to understand NTDS.dat file partitions. I hope you clear. If you have any queries regarding this session, please comment below so that I can answer your session, whatever. So next, now we are in the stage to understand NTDS.dat. See, before entering into NTDS.dat, we have to understand few things here. It's a very important. Next is objects. First we have to understand object. Object is an icon, or we can say accounts. Accounts are in the form of objects. Accounts are in the form of objects. What is object? You want to see what type of objects? What is object there? Let's go to domain controller. I have C1. This is my domain controller. If I go here, you can see, you click here, users is a container. See, this is users is a container. In that user, all these icons are known as objects. You click domain controllers, you see one object. Click computers container, no objects are here. Click built-in container, inside you will see so many objects. All this comes under objects. So what is objects? Accounts. Usually we say account, user account, group account, computer account. We used to say object, accounts, both are same. So what type of objects you can create? Types of objects. You can create different types of object. Number 1 is user object. You can create user object. Second is group object. You can create computer object. and you can also create contact object, and you can create many objects. This is enough. Let's understand one by one in detail what these objects. User object, a type of object used to login purpose. Login. Imagine you have a computer in any organization. In your company you have a client computer. You want to create, or you want to allow some user to log into that computer. That time what do you want? You want to go into the server. You will go to the server and you create one user object in the server, so that user will come to this client PC and log in here. So if you don't create the user object, the user cannot log in. Every employee who wants to log in the company computer, they must have one active directory object, so that they may log in. Without creating user object, user cannot log in. This is fixed. You understood, right? So if you want to log in, you have to create user object. The purpose of user object to log in users. Let's go create one object. Let's go create one object. I will go here. I will create, right click, new user object. I'm clicking on click user. You see one object name, and you have to type some values here. Some values. What values you can give? You can give first name. You can give anything, like say Kumar. Username, I can provide Kumar Dev last name, and I say Kumar, same Kumar at Ekascloud.com. Listen carefully what I am typing. These are very important. Next we have to provide the login name. Without login name I cannot go next. Do you want to confirm this? Clear this. I try to go next without login name. I cannot go next because Kumar login name, which means while creating user object, while creating user object, what is mandatory parameter? You have to type the login name. First name is, last names are optional, initials are optional. You can give initial yes or no, it doesn't matter, but you must provide login name. Next, password. Let's go create password. Create user object without password. Windows cannot create the object Kumardev because unable to update the password, which means password is a mandatory value. Without password you cannot create any user object, but these options are optional to, you can give check mark or uncheck, it doesn't matter, but user will create. So this is how creating user object. Why you created user object? Because login purpose. Login. What happened after login? That is next. For login you have to create user account. You understood? Now next, group object. In many companies they may have file server. What is file server? A computer which contains share folders. We will have some session about file server in upcoming session, no worry. So imagine this is file server, and you have one server, you have one active directory server. Usually domain controller icon look like this only. If you want to see domain controller, how domain controller look like, see this is the icon for domain controller. That's a common file server. This is a domain controller. In the domain controller, what you will do, you will create so many user accounts which belongs to same department. Imagine this is sales department and you will create sales users, sales 1 2 3 4 5 like that, and you will have sales data in the file server, sales data folder. So this is domain controller, this is file server, and all the sales users, all these sales users will go to different computers and they try and log in. This sales user came to these computers and try login, and they will be able to log in here. And when they try to access this folder, and when they try to access the folder, because they belongs to sales department and sales folder should be accessed by all these sales employees, so that they will put the sales report data into it. When they want to put sales data into the share folder, they should have access to that folder. Without having access, he cannot access anything in it. So you need to give permission. So who provide permissions to that folder? Only one user, that is administrator. When administrator goes to this computer, open share folder and go sharing permission, he has to provide one by one user, like adding share folder permissions to user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, like that. Say giving folder permissions for 4 users is not a big deal. It's a very small deal only. You can give easily, no problem. But what if you have 40 users? Upcoming, there we have to add upcoming users. It is very difficult, right? When you have more number of users, it is very difficult to add users into any folders. I just given one example to understand. We have lot of examples, but the intention is to understand, not sales data, sales folder and sales department. The intention is to understand how difficult for administrator to give any permission for an individual user. It is very difficult, right? To avoid this difficulty, what we can do is we can bring a icon called group. We can create an object called group. What is group? That's what a concept, right? Group object. So what you can do is you can create one group object and you add all these users into that group, which means what we are doing, we are link with other objects. Other objects can link with group object. Listen carefully once again. Other objects, any object, user object, any other group object, any other computer object, other group objects or other objects can link with the group object. User object for login, group object for linking purpose. You can add all these users into that group. That group can be having a permission like full control or read only permission. Instead of giving one by one permission to the user, you can give a group permission. All the permission will be inherited to users in the group, so that users can go and log in and access the data folder without having individual permission. I hope you understood what is group and how we can use it. Let's go create one group and add that user into that group. So previously we created one user account called Kumar Dev, and I am going to create one right click new group and group account. What group says? I can say sales, sales group, sales department. We will understand what is group scope in detail in upcoming classes, not now. Domain, local, global, universal, security, distribution. I leave these values as default. I just click OK. See, one group object has created. When you go properties, you have two choices. One choice is members. You can see how many users or any other objects are the member of the group. You don't see because we created this. We have member of this group is a member of which group? You can make one group is a member of another group, or you can add any user to the member of this group. But today our focus on making this Kumardev user to a member of sales group. How to add? Right click Kumardev user and you click on add to group. When you click on add to group, you can type the group name, say sales and check names. You find the group name and click add. So once the group has successfully completed, you can go to group properties and see the members Kumardev. So this is how you can add users to the member. So like so many users can be added into this sales group. That sales group can add to any other folder permission, so that you can use this for centralized, which means easy administration. This is called easy administration, right? Instead of doing multiple tasks, you are finishing in a single task. So understood, right? What is group object? Group objects are linked to any other object, or any other object can be linked with the group object. Next, computer object. Computer object in a domain, I told you just before, in a domain, if you add computers into domain member, we have already done how to add computers into domain member. If you have not known how to add computers into domain member, please go and watch our previous videos. The first video, class 1 video, there you will understand how to add computers, what is Active Directory, how to add computer members. But here I am not going to show you anything, but what I will show you is, if you have computers into domain member, that folder, that container will be filled with the computer objects. Let us go and understand. Before going to understand, I will give one line. What is computer object? Computer object is used to identify computers in the domain. I told you, right? Domain is what? Collection. In that collection of users, group, computers also a part of the domain. If you want to see who is domain controller, who is client computer, you want to identify anything in the domain controller, where you have to go? If somebody asks you how many client computers in the organization, how many domain controllers in the organization, what you will do? You go to Ekascloud.com, is a domain, is a collection of users, computers, groups, everything. You click computers, you will see no computers, which means we don't have any member in the domain right now. If you click domain controller, we have one computer running with server 1, which is global catalog domain controller. When you go properties, you will find more detail about it. Global catalog server we will understand in upcoming classes. This is the first class of multi-domain Active Directory. In here, one by one we will cover all the Active Directory areas. So which I am going to teach you the value which is worth is 1 lakh rupees. The around these topics, multi-domain concepts, very costly topic, which is free of cost. See here, operating system. What operating system is running? This computer is a member of domain controllers. Delegation, location, managed by whom, dial in, all these are optional, but we have to understand. We came to understand computer object. See, these computer objects will automatically create, not created manually. Can I go and create user right click new computer? Yes, you can create. When you can create a computer object manually, the situation is completely different, which I cannot explain you here, because that for that I need a WDS server, Windows Deployment Services. I don't want to make you confused by telling everything in one class. Please wait, keep watching our live session or in our YouTube videos, so that you will understand one by one. Meanwhile, I have to say something. Watching this video is useless. You have to go install and practice the same thing what we are doing here. So there must be concept and configuration. First you learn the concept in this video and see the configuration, and go and implement the same configuration with your laptop PC or anything desktop PC, so that you will get a confident on the topic. Without practicing, it is waste. If you keep on reading, no, nothing is going to happen. You please practice, so that you will at least learn something now. So that's all about computer object. Next is contact object. Contact object. See, a type of object which to save information, is to save information of an employee. If you want to save any information of a particular employee, you can use contact object. You understand? So contact object is a type of object which allows to save an employee information. What type of information? If you do you want to save anything like what do you say? If you want to save first name, last name, phone number, anything like that, you can save that. You can save, but let's go and first create that contact object. After that we'll discuss. Otherwise it is useless. Let me go and create one contact object. I'll go here, I go right click, new, I'll create a contact. I'll say contact, I say security, yes, enough. Okay, click security, enough. See, I have security. See, the icon, it seems to be user. It is not actually user icon, it's a group. Okay, it's a group. Sorry. So use icon look like user, but it is actually contact. If you go to properties, you have address, telephone, organization, member of. You can put telephone number here, you can put display name here, you can put office number here. And you may thinking about what is the use of this contact object. Can contact object may login? No, contact object is not for login purpose. User objects only can login. Then why do we use contact object? For example, imagine you have a company. In that organization there are some employees who cannot log in, who don't want to log in. Do you know what type of employee is like that who cannot log in? Some security guard, some staff, peon, some no the some cleaning employees are there, right? And they will take care of cleaning everything, but they don't have any computer, right? They don't have computer, they don't have any Excel sheet, what they did today. Some other will maintain, but they are not going to put anything in. So which means there are some employees who are not have a login concept. They don't want to log in. Why should they log in when their job is not to log in and work? No. So what we do is we don't create any user object those who don't want to log in. We create only user object those who wants to log in. So for them, the users who cannot log in, who don't want to log in, we create contact object. I told you very clearly, contact object to save the information. If you don't like to save the information, then don't create it. Are you thinking about why should I create an employee user account for that employee who are not able to log in? Then don't create. Why? I'm not asking you to create. But the point is, we are learning everything here. We are trying to understand types of object. It is our choice to create or not to create. It is my job to teach what objects you have in the Active Directory. Are you clear so far? Next thing is how to create object, that we know. How to create object, that we know. And after to create, what is requirement of creating an object? What you required for creating an object? We need to create an object. To create an object, we need something called, let me type. Active Directory Schema. Active Directory Schema. This is a mandatory concept. Active Directory Schema. Let's go here. If I go there to the Active Directory users and computers, in that when you right click on it, you say what is this? Computer, contact, group, inter, MSMQ printer. What is this? Do you have anything to say? You have to understand Active Directory Schema. Before understanding schema, you have to understand something called classes. Active Directory classes. Classes are defined. Okay. Classes are defined to create objects. Classes only define what type of object you want. You have so many classes here. Example, you have so many classes. We have user class, contact class, computer class, group class, and we have so many classes. I'll explain you one by one, but these are the major class. We have major class, subclass also. Classes. Without classes, you cannot create objects. And the next thing is attributes. Next thing is attributes. What are the attributes? Every object has attribute. Every object in Active Directory as attribute. Attributes, every object. There are two types of attributes: mandatory attributes, optional attributes. Mandatory attributes, optional attributes. Do you want to know what is mandatory attribute? Mandatory attributes. Let's go have a look of attribute. When you right click, new, I said this is class, this is user class. When you click user class, you see here first name is a attribute, initials is an attribute, last name, full name, all these are what? Attributes. When I type something here, Huzefa is not an attribute. Huzefa is an attribute value. Value is different, attribute is different. Understand? Value is different, attribute is different. We are talking about attribute, not attribute values. We are talking about attributes. Cancel it. Go to Kumardev. Properties. You see description, office, telephone, email, web page, in address, street, post box, all these attributes. You see one tab, each and every tab, account tab, profile tab, address tab, general class, all these are classes. All these tabs are 13 tabs are there. 13 tabs. Each tab, in that each tab you have so many values, which means this is attribute, this is class, major class, subclass. You right click here, new user, major class. Once you create the user, you have subclasses. Under subclasses you have values. And I told you while creating Kumardev user account, password is a mandatory parameter, which means mandatory attribute. First name, logon name is a mandatory attribute. The other values, it is optional. City, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. It's optional. You type something or not, it doesn't matter. Okay, these are optional attributes. You understand? Optional attributes, mandatory attributes. Which attributes comes under mandatory? Mandatory attributes, logon name, mandatory attribute. Password, mandatory attribute. Well, you are creating group name is a mandatory attribute. Computer name is a mandatory attribute. Optional attribute, optional, last name, optional, city, country, all this comes under optional attributes. You understand? You have to provide some attributes, that is mandatory. You can provide or not provide, that is optional attribute. But attributes are there. Attributes. So classes are defining what type of object you want, and the mandatory values, by submitting mandatory values, a successful object is getting created. I will give one example to understand. I have a imagine this is my company. Let me bring my icon. Imagine this is me. Okay, this is me. I am the owner of the company. Okay, I am the owner of the company. Now in my company 50 employees are working, or 50 employees are working. I want to provide employee ID for all employees, right? So I am the responsible. So what I do, I'll go to a shop. where ID cards will print, where ID card will print and give. Okay, he is a guy who's print ID card. I'll go and ask him. I cannot go as simple, right? What I will do, I'll take one paper and I'll put a list. I'll take everything and go to him. So what it list, employee ID and employee name, employee a designation, something like that. I'll go him and ask, hello boss, I want 50 employee ID cards. Will you provide? Yes, he will say, yes, provide. And he will ask, what design you want? So there must be a design, right? A common design. What we do, me and he will set and design, will sit and design one design. Like photo size should be like this, employee name should be font like this, designation like this, and this everything like this. Okay, this is a template. You can say this is template. This is a template. Now you tell me how many templates we want to create. How many templates? Should I create 50 templates? Is it? Should I create 50 templates to create 50 ID cards? No, right? So one design, this is design, huh? This is one design is enough, no? So we need one design, and this is called template. And in the template, what we do, we put photo. We put employee name Kumar, employee ID Ekascloud 001, something like that. A designation manager. By submitting these values, and we make one ID. You understand what I am trying to say? See, listen carefully. This template is known as class. What? This template is known as class. The photo, value, employee ID, that is called mandatory attributes. Mandatory attributes. Mandatory attributes. For employee name is optional. Do you think employee name is optional? No, right? It's a mandatory. Employee ID is optional? No, mandatory. Employee designation, mandatory. Employee blood group is mandatory, optional. Employee PAN card, optional. Employee other personal information, optional, no need. Why should I put all this? Optional. The few things mandatory should be in employee ID. You understand? So likewise, we create one design and we put all these mandatory values to create 50 ID cards. Same thing will happen. Classes, we take one user class to create many user objects. We take one user class to create many user objects. How it means? We have user class, we use user class, we submit values, mandatory values, mandatory attribute values. By submitting mandatory values, you will get one object, that is called user object. So that user object will employees can log in here. So to create a login, you need object. To create an object, we need to submit a value, mandatory value. To submit that value, you need a class. So ultimately you need user class and attributes to create successfully one object. You understand the whole process. Without this, it is not possible. Similarly, let's come back to the example. In the other, some other will come in. Just a minute, I'll bring some other icon. Some old man is coming. Some aged person is coming to the same shop, and he is asking to print invitation cards because his son or daughter some wedding. So he is asking the shop wala to print invitation, wedding cards. Will that shop wala use the same template for wedding? Sir, take this template, you put photo, employee ID, user ID, and give a tag. That will be good to for everybody. No, right? So for the wedding card, for a wedding invitation card, you have to have separate template, right? The wedding card, what is mandatory? Marriage is to whom, where is a marriage, when is a dinner, lunch, whatever thing, or reception. These are the mandatory to go. So this template is different, this template is different. This template for to create ID card, this template to create wedding card. We cannot use this. Similarly in Active Directory we have different classes. To create user class, to create user object we use user class. To create group object we use group class. Contact class, user class, printer class, computer class. So these different classes to create different objects. Different objects with different purposes. Not all objects for the same purpose. Different objects, different purpose, and different scenarios. You got it, right? What is class? If you don't understand, if you are getting sleepy by attending this, you rewind this topic back to 10 minutes and again start from that last 10 minutes. Very important session. And here what I have to do, let's finish up this. I said I have to say what is schema, right? Very simple here, very simple. What is schema? Active Directory schema. Active Directory schema, it is a collection. What? AD schema, it is a collection. It's a collection of all classes. It's a collection of all classes and attributes. It's a collection of all classes and attributes is called a collection of all classes and attributes called AD schema. It's a collection of all classes and attributes called Active Directory schema. Without Active Directory schema, it is not possible to work with Active Directory. Active Directory schema. So where is Active Directory schema? Can we go and see that Active Directory schema? Can we go and modify the Active Directory schema? Why to modify and how to see the Active Directory schema? We will understand what is AD schema in detail in the next session. In the next session we will understand what is AD schema in detail and how NTDS. This class is not yet completed. This is enough. If I go now, if I start now this, it may take another 1 hour. This is enough here. We'll stop here. If you have any queries regarding this session, you please post a comment, so I will answer for that anything, and we'll meet next session and I will explain you what is AD schema, how to see the schema, how to register the schema, what tools are there to modify the schema. We have so many tools, we'll understand in the next class. So meanwhile, thank you for watching this video, and thank you. Bye.